Just want to hear from the fans and how they're going to be taking the game in this evening. Stuart Hughes is BBC Senior World Affairs producer, also the presenter of the Bees Bulletin podcast, and joins us on the show. What about this BBC impartiality, Stuart?
Well, thankfully, unlike Phil, I work on the news side rather than the sports side. So, as you know, if you look on the editorial guidelines, the fact that my stock in trade is news means I can be a little bit less impartial on the sports side than I would normally be on anything else. And certainly tonight, I'm going to be anything but impartial.
All right.
I think it's pretty obvious where my loyalties lie tonight, and looking forward to a famous Brentford victory.
Yeah, okay. That's what Gary Lineker says. He works in sports so he can give freely his opinion in news. Let's get Sammy on. Sammy, how are you? Part of Fulhamish podcast. How are you, Sammy?
Fulhamish, yeah, all good, thank you. Thanks for having me on.
So, are you as confident as Stuart appears to be?
No, cautious optimism, of course. And I think it's a 50-50 game. We've been in a championship playoff final only 2 years ago, and we know how narrow and tight that one was. We were fortunate enough to win on that day. I honestly think that there's very little to separate the sides tonight. Obviously, I hope more than anything in the world.
Apart from the 2-0 in January or the 1-0 in December. What about that?
Well, of course, Brentford have got a better record against us, but Brentford are known to choke, aren't they? They lost 3 out of the last 4 games that they played.
Well done, mate. That is better. That's where you should have started, Sam. They're chokers. We like that. Fighting talk. So, Stuart, come on in. I mean, look, you could come at this with BBC all over you. It's not going to help you. You are a bit of a choker, aren't you?
Well, it was certainly looking that way a week or two ago, and I'm going to treat Sammy and Fulham with the utmost respect. I'm going to take the lead from our head coach Thomas Frank, who said we're confident but humble, and we're going to treat Fulham with respect, and we certainly do. We know, even though we joke about their Victoria Sponges and their clackers, they are near rivals, and we know that they've done a lot in their history. But we only have to look at the form this season. We've played Fulham twice, as you mentioned, beaten them twice. We haven't conceded a goal. Last time we met them in June, it was the first game after the restart, and we beat them 2-0. And after 46 games in the regular season, we finished level on points with Fulham. And the star man for Fulham, Alexander Mitrovic, he scored 26 goals. Oh, what a surprise. One of our star men, Ollie Watkins, also scored 26 goals. And he's not a Serbian international. So we do treat them with respect. And, of course, we're going to have a lot of fun and a lot of friendly rivalry.
You sound like a voyeur. That's what you sound like. A voyeur.
I think Sammy's. No, I'm no voyeur. I'm Brentford all the way. And we're going to go in there and we're there to win. We choked. And I think that most Brentford fans thought we might have peaked too early, but we certainly turned that round in the second leg of the playoff semi-final against Swansea when we came out with a bullet, and we've certainly got nothing to fear from Fulham tonight.
Sammy, I mean, look, I don't normally do sport. I love sport, but I also look for the other stories. The problem for you is almost you feel as though you have a rite of passage, that you're deserving of it. That might lead to complacency, no?
No, there'll be no complacency in there, and I don't think Fulham think they are deserving of it. I think we know that we're the bigger club than Brentford overall, and it's interesting to hear him talk about Victoria Sponges and clackers. They're selling their beautiful ground and history and 4 pubs on every corner for a ground that looks like it was built for the Macedonia European Under-23 Championships. They're so worried about not filling the ground that they've made the seats multicoloured so that it looks more full on television. Yeah. And they have the cheek. They have the cheek to talk about clappers.
I love it.
We're building a stand that's got 30,000 seats a stadium. Sammy. I mean, come on, Brentford fans. Let's not get above your station here. You might win tonight, but let's remember who was in a European final 10 years ago.
Okay, so Stuart, come on, call it for me now.
If I can, just chip in on that.
Please.
The good news for Sammy is that he won't have to visit our horrible new ground, because we'll be in the Premier League and they'll be in the Championship. So you got nothing. You got nothing to worry about there.
Visit your ground. That's the one beauty of playing you tonight.
Well, keep the memories of Griffin Park, because it'll be a while before you see us again.
God bless. God bless you. I mean, the great thing is it's rivalry, it's banter, but it is hugely important. Might I take this opportunity to wish both of you the very best of luck, and your teams. You've both been fabulous, Sammy, and to you, Stuart. God bless. Look after yourselves, and wow, what a game.